Good evening once again, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Field for the last time of Season 17. Please welcome our guests from Horizon High School. They are the Hawks. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. For those of you here in the stadium, we want to remind you we are live streaming tonight's game on YouTube and the NFHS Network. If you have friends and family back on the Horizon side of town, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world, and they were not able to join us for tonight's game, make sure you let them know that they can tune in live on YouTube or the NFHS Network. And now we invite you to please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the presentation of colors by the Wekiva High School Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. Tonight's senior detail is under the command of Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jeremiah Subs, carrying the U.S. flag. Carrying the Florida State flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Nadia Godoy. Carrying the Air Force flag is Cadet Second Lieutenant Nato Godoy. And carrying the POW MIA flag is Cadet Airman Heather McLean. The Rifle Guards are Cadets Technical Sergeant Amy Garcia Ortiz and Technical Sergeant Chris Jimenez Fraticelli. As you may be aware, before we continue tonight's game, we would like to take a moment to honor John Peary, longtime editor of the Apopka Chief, who passed away Wednesday night unexpectedly. When Wekiva High School opened in 2007, this Apopka alumnus and lifelong Blue Darter fan wanted to ensure that the Mustangs were welcomed with open arms into the Apopka community. So he expanded the sports writing staff at the Chief to include our beloved Neil Fisher, and together, they worked tirelessly over the last 17 years to ensure that both schools' student athletes got the coverage and recognition they so richly deserve. Tonight, we have added a JP monogram to our field to honor a man who was a beacon of the city of Apopka and whose absence will be deeply felt. At this time, we ask that everyone please observe a moment of silence to honor the legacy of John Peary. Thank you. And now, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, performed by the Pride of Wekiva, your Mustang Marching Band. Once again, our thanks to the Wekiva High School AFJROTC and the marching band for tonight's pregame festivities, set beautifully against the backdrop of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launch that you see there in the background, and a perfect way to cap off our senior night festivities. Once again, we welcome our guests from Horizon High School. They are the Hawks taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs for Week 8 and Senior Night 2023. We cap off our home portion of Season 17 here tonight. Of course, Wekiva still has Jones and Apopka in the books, as well as the Week 10 bye to finish out the season, but those will be on the road. So this is your last chance to catch Wekiva at home this year. As our captains take midfield for the coin toss, we'll take this opportunity to thank our officiating crew from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Florida. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic event. Please welcome to the field, your Wekiva High School Mustangs. And we do call your attention to the 50-yard line one more time. We had one form that fell out of the stack and that we were missing, and so we definitely do not want to leave any senior unrecognized. Please help us recognize from the band Brenda Decima, escorted by Marceline Decima, a 4-year band member and theater team member. After graduating, she plans to study toward being a nurse anesthetist at the University of Central Florida, FAU, Valencia, or FMU. Congratulations again to Brenda Decima. We are underway here at Mustang Field for the last time of Season 17. Welcome to South Apopka, Florida. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs. Wekiva starts with an onside kick. That's a bold move to open the game. Wekiva seems to think that they have it. And they do. Number 7, Jameer Tyson successfully recovers an onside kick. That means Wekiva will get the opening offensive possession of both halves here on senior night. Well, you can't ask for a much better start than that. And so Wekiva not only gets to start both the first and second half, they'll also get great field position here. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10 Mustangs. Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs, here with you for senior night. The drop back going long for the end zone. He's got it! Number 6, Joshua Bennett, into the end zone for a 43-yard touchdown pass on the very first play. of the drive. Well, the Mustangs have touched the ball exactly twice, and they've made magic both times. First with the onside kick recovery, and then with the long-distance pass. And Wekiva starting things off in a big way here at Mustang Field as we get into senior night. Again, my name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva. I am joined tonight, as I have been all season, by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief. And Neil, wow, just wow.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start if you're Wekiva. Of course, we didn't do a pregame show. Because
two-point conversion is complete to Jabari Smith, and Wekiva now up 8-0 with 11 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
So we didn't do a pregame show because of senior night, and really this is a game Wekiva in a must-win situation. We talked about that all last week. Really, they had to win both games. They have not been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but they absolutely have to win tonight's game. They would drop to 3-5, and that would force them into a situation where they would not only have to win their last two games against Jones and Apopka, of course, teams that are always expected to make deep runs into the into the playoffs. So tonight, really, they would also need some help as well. But to have any chance, they got to take care of the business themselves at hand, and that starts tonight with beating Horizon. Certainly, best possible start you could ask for.
Yeah, 8 points in 15 seconds. I don't think I've seen any better starts than that in my 17 years announcing here at Wekiva.
So we're gonna, hey, guys. Tell Mark.
What?
So Horizon will take over. Actually, it's going to be right around midfield. One play, an 8-0 lead for Wekiva. Actually, two plays. One play to get into the touchdown, and then the two PAT. So while we get ready,
we got a little officials huddle here at midfield. I'm not sure what the delay is getting things back to action here. But my goodness, okay, here we go. We get an official signal from the referee. We've got offsides, it looks like. Okay. So illegal procedure is called against Horizon and offsides against Wekiva. Those penalties offset. And so the play remains as it ended. 1st and 10 for the Hawks, starting from the Mustangs' 48-yard line.
So, of course, Horizon only 3 years old, and they've built their program the smart way. Of course, they've had a much easier schedule than Wekiva. They come in at 4-2, and that's the reason why, as opposed to Wekiva with the 3-4 record. However, of course, Wekiva is favored because they have been playing the more difficult schedule, and they line up, and you're going to see that all night. That's a single wing. They run it about 90% of the time. There's quarterback Andrew Harris, thrown under 50 yards. And
Kenny on the opening run, and he is stopped by the Mustang defense after a loss of 2 yards. That puts the ball at midfield and brings up 2nd and 12. So, Neil, you mentioned it earlier. The Wekiva strength of schedule is the only reason that they are not statistically eliminated from the playoffs despite being below 500, although they now face an extremely uphill battle to get back into the hunt. They would essentially have to win here tonight,
and then the last two games again against Jones and Apopka.
Right, so winning here.
Don't mean to cut you off here, Mark, but for those of you just tuning in, Pierre is the main guy. I mentioned the single wing, 1,161 yards, 159 carries, 7.3 yards. So that's number 32. He's going to be running the ball about 90% of the time. So not only do they run the single wing, but they go to the old school one featured running back, Mark.
Yeah, and so Wekiva, again, coming into this game, again, with the, help me out here, Neil, is a 3-4 record?
Yes, 3-4
record. So the best Wekiva can do is 6-4 if they win all three of their remaining games. And now 3 consecutive TFLs for Wekiva. Again, you just can't ask for a better start than this. The onside kick, the 43-yard touchdown on the first play, the 2-point conversion, 3 consecutive TFLs to force 3 and out. I mean, you couldn't write this any better for Wekiva, as a loss of 5 on the play will bring the ball back to the 45-yard line and bring up 4th and 17 for the Hawks. And so this is exactly what Wekiva needs. Now, again, you don't take anything for granted. Horizon, of course, while they don't have the strength of schedule that Wekiva does, they do have the wins in the book to demonstrate that they are capable of putting points on the scoreboard. So, again, you don't ever want to take anything for granted. That's why they play the game. But, of course, tonight, from a odds-making perspective, Wekiva would be the favored team. Now, for the next 2 weeks, that is not the case. Wekiva will be the underdog against both Jones and Apopka. And obviously wins at those 2 locations would do great things for Wekiva's strength of schedule and rating, and could potentially put them back into the hunt for a low wild card. So Wekiva's not statistically out of it yet, but again, they pretty much have no more windows for error for the entire rest of the season if they want to be at least in the hunt. And even then, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, they're going to need some help. As we begin the second possession, Wekiva with the 8-0 lead at the Wekiva 23-yard line. Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi, thank you for joining us on this Friday night. The handoff, or actually, excuse me, the pass.
And pass is complete to Anthony Gay. That will move the ball 9 yards. Up to the 34-yard line and bring up, 32-yard line and bring up 2nd and 1.
Out of that one-back set, actually they empty the field this time. Wekiva running that spread offense, trips on the near sideline. Davis to his right, fires, and another completion. Throwing that ball low so only his receiver could come up to it. Wekiva has it first down.
Jeremy Benjamin catches the pass for the Mustangs. That puts the ball at the 45-yard line for a pickup of 13 yards, and that's more than enough for a Mustang. First down.
Yeah, and Mark, let's also mention the fact that Horizon, believe it or not, they could still win the division, or excuse me, the district, as that is Gay rumbling down that left sideline. He'll be close to the first down. Yes, the refs do declare it is a first down.
Anthony Gay on the possession for the Mustangs puts the ball into Hawks territory at the 43-yard line. That's a pickup of 12 yards, and it's another Mustang first down. Yeah, Neil, so Horizon had a really unusual schedule this year. Horizon has all 3 of their district games back-to-back-to-back in weeks 7, 8, and 9. And so we didn't actually have any district performance for them. They were 0-0 until last week. And so that's why everybody kind of assumed Edgewater was going to be the district champion. And they still kind of are the favorite to be the district champion. But Horizon hasn't spoken yet for their district record.
So now Wekiva with the one-back set. That's Phileas to the right of Davis. We'll get you your starting lineup in just a couple of minutes as Davis steps back, steps up, and tipped away. That was Brandon Cruz, the strong safety, getting his mitts.
Pass intended for Jabari Smith, broken up by Brandon Cruz. That'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Mustangs from the Hawks' 41-yard line.
So the first third down situation being faced by Wekiva, as Mark said. I'm Neil Fisher. Mark is Mark Barchi, who's also the public address announcer.
Flag on the play. Holding called against the Mustang offense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play stands 3rd and 8 from the 41.
So Davis comes in, getting a little bit better. Not the senior season that any senior would hope for. We'll get back to that in just a minute. As it's 3rd and 8, Phillies lining up on the right, trips low. Bullet over the middle, weaving and diving, and it's going to be a first down. Still some more yardage. That was Benjamin making the catch, picked up about 12 yards on the yak, the yards after the catch.
Jeremy Benjamin has the completion for the Mustangs and is finally taken down by Joshua Walker, coming in to help the Hawks secondary, but not before the Mustangs pick up the first down deep into Horizon red zone territory. Ball at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10.
So that's a 30-yard gain. And as Mark just said, 1st and 10, Wekiva looking to take a 2-touchdown lead. The pitch out to Phileas. He slams around that left and won't get into the end zone, but it will be 1st and goal. Nice blocking on that left side.
Tyree Phileas picks up a couple of good blocks around the left corner and has the Mustang first down. He is short of the goal line, but enough to move the chain one more time. 1st and goal from the 2 after a gain, from the 1, after a gain of 10.
So back to work. Phileas lining up directly behind Davis this time. Nothing fancy. Takes the handoff. Plunges ahead. And Wekiva with the 14-0 lead. PAT pending. 7-13 first quarter.
Tyree Phileas up the middle and into the end zone for a Mustang touchdown.
So they'll go for the 2 PAT, the swing pass out to Benjamin, and a 16-0 lead. 2 possessions, 4 minutes, 47 seconds.
The pass is complete to Jeremy Benjamin for the 2-point conversion, and the Mustangs extend their lead to 16-0 with 7 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
So 8 plays, 2 minutes, 12 seconds, and again, Wekiva got off to the best possible start a team could ask for, scoring on its first possession after recovering an onside kickoff, and now they move down the field along with the 8 plays, 77 yards, and they have a 16-0 lead in this must-win situation from Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium.
And Neil, every time there's a scoring play, the first thing that I do is I turn to my right and I open up X, formerly known as Twitter, and I will tweet the scoring play onto our media partners. And at the end of every tweet, I tag at OS Varsity, hashtag Varsity Scores, at Florida High School Football, at Apopka John. And every time I've had to make that tweet so far tonight, I have had to stop myself. Because if you were not here to join us for the pregame, where we had our moment of silence in honor of John Peary, we unexpectedly lost John earlier this week. He passed away in his sleep Wednesday night.
Wednesday
night going into Thursday.
Morning, yeah.
And it was just a tremendous shock to the community. I know they're honoring him across town at Apopka tonight as well, who's hosting their homecoming game. I believe they're hosting Lake Brantley tonight, and so he's being honored there as well. And we, of course, honored him here before our game. You see the JP monogram has been painted onto the 25-yard line. as we get an offsides call against Wekiva. We'll back the ball up 5 yards for the kickoff, now from the 35-yard line. And Neil, I know we'll have a chance to talk about this a little bit more at halftime, but I know you worked with John these last 17 years. Obviously, I have had many great quality conversations with him, as he is frequently at our games, or certainly when we play Apopka. We see a lot of him, and just a real pillar of the Apopka community, and all of us just stunned this week to lose him. So we were, of course, grateful to have the opportunity to honor him tonight, and an onside kick there.
Again?
It's Wekiva ball. It's Wekiva ball. Jameer Tyson with another onside kick recovery, his second tonight, and Wekiva will keep possession of the ball at their own 45-yard line. So Wekiva is holding nothing back tonight.
Again, if you joined us just in the last couple of minutes, this is a must-win for Wekiva. If they want to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to win all 3 games and then hope and have to get some help. But certainly they're taking care of business first and foremost, which is winning the game. So back to work. Davis looking. Lots of time now. Rolls right. Got his receiver, and he threw that a little too long.
Pass intended for Anthony Gay. Falls incomplete.
So the ball is at the Wekiva 45. So certainly this year, if you follow Wekiva, you know this. If not, thank you for joining us. And one of the features this year is Wekiva certainly has become a passing team. Even last year with Davis under center, they were still about 50-50. They're certainly throwing the ball a lot more this year, as, again, Davis back to work. Out of the one-back set, they'll take a sweep with Bennett. Breaks off the tackle, reverses direction, and got some Marcus Allen in the Super Bowl action. It gets down to the 40, the 30, all the way inside the 25-yard line. And yes, I realize we're talking high school football compared to the Super Bowl, but nonetheless, at least here at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium on the Wekiva side, no less exciting.
Joshua Bennett on the carry. He is down to right around the 35-yard line. However, there is a penalty marker on the play. Block in the back called against Wekiva. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And it'll depend on what the spot of the foul is, whether or not it's still a first down. So that may have contributed to why Joshua Bennett was able to get that kind of yardage, although in fairness, he definitely had the afterburners turned on regardless.
Yeah, avoided a couple of tackles, would-be tackles at the initial when he went to the right side, and Wekiva is going to actually lose yards. It's going to be about a 6-yard difference. So Bennett does not get credit for any forward progress. And Wekiva now looking at 2nd and 16 and take that very nice run off the board. Certainly would have continued to give Wekiva momentum, building on that initial momentum they've had since the opening kickoff, recovering an onside kickoff. In motion is Bennett. He takes the handoff again and powers ahead. He'll get 5 on that carry. Actually, excuse me, that was Gay.
Anthony Gay on the carry for the Mustangs, taking the ball out to the 43-yard line. Pick up a 4 yards, 3rd and 11 coming up for Wekiva.
Wekiva lines up, no huddle. High snap, recovered by Davis. Does a nice job of bringing it down. Finds his man Phileas down that left sideline. A stutter move. Picks up about another 10 as Wekiva moves inside the horizon 40. And you feel like, just like the animal, the Mustangs, they are galloping down that field.
Tyree Phileas has a first down and more for the Mustangs. Ball spotted in Hawks territory. And we have reached the midpoint of the first quarter, and so we will pause for an official timeout. The ball is spotted at the 30-yard line. That's a 27-yard pickup for Phileas. And we'll be back in just a moment. You're going to hear the play-by-play because I can't turn it off, so that's fine. Okay, right now your camera is the only camera that I have. Both of the cameras on the ground I don't have a connection to, and I am tethered to the press box, so I cannot go out there and look at it. Okay.
So welcome back to Baptiste Orthodontic Stadium. The Wekiva Mustangs playing at home in their familiar maroon background jerseys with the gold numbers, taking on Horizon on offense. They've busted out to a 16-0 lead, scoring on their first two possessions. Recovered the onside, did an onside kickoff on the opening kickoff, and they have rolled since then. Now 1st and 10 at the Horizon 30-yard line, as Tyree Davis, the senior quarterback, back to work out of the one-back set, finds Ellis. He weaves, and he'll have another first down. Nice maneuvering in that right flat.
Michael Ellis on the carry. That's good for a Mustang first down. The ball spotted at the 18-yard line for a pickup of 12 on the completion. And Neil, again, you can't say a lot negative about the performance of the Mustangs tonight. They got maybe 1 or 2 penalties against them, but otherwise it's been a clean game. That was overthrown. The pass intended for Anthony Gay falls incomplete. That brings up 2nd and 10 for Wekiva from the Hawks' 18-yard line.
So Wekiva's starting lineup in the middle, Malachi Enriquez on the sides, Isaiah McNeish, James Mixon, Shine Love, and Xavier Stevens. Those are your guys up front. Of course, Tyree Davis, the senior quarterback. Tyree Phileas making a second consecutive start. Gay, Benjamin, Bennett, and Ellis, wideouts, and they continue to go to the air. Another completion. Won't be a first down, but it'll set up Wekiva 3rd and short.
Pass is complete to Joshua Bennett. That's good for a pickup of 7 yards. It takes the ball down to the 11-yard line, and it brings up 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs.
Wekiva with the 16-0 lead, looking to extend that lead. Certainly, Tyree Davis looking good in the early going. He struggled this year, had an injury in the second game against Ocoee on the first possession to his leg, as they'll go with a 2-back set, hand that ball off inside. And all the way in. Is it a touchdown? No. But it is a first down.
It is.
No, it is a touchdown. So one of those plays that after the initial contact, the running back just continued to carry and plunge ahead the pile. And Wekiva, nonetheless, will have the running back who scored in just a minute, a 22-0 lead, 3:56 remaining in the first quarter. And Wekiva on the 3rd consecutive touchdown, going for a 3rd consecutive 2 PAT. And Davis rolls left. He'll take it himself. Eludes the first tackle and slides into the end zone. 24-0. Wekiva.
Tyree Davis on the 2-point conversion. And the Mustangs now lead 24-0 with 3 minutes, 56 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And that was Tyree Phileas that had the previous carry.
And an 8-play drive as well, covering 55 yards. Wekiva looking to even the record 4-4, and as we have said throughout this game, it is a must-win if Wekiva is going to make the playoffs. So thank you for joining us on this Friday night. Hope you are enjoying your broadcast as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. Also want to mention things just progressed so quickly, or at least it felt that way.
And
as another onside kickoff.
It's Wekiva recovery because the ball went 10 yards, was muffed by Horizon, and then back into the arms of Wekiva. So that was why Wekiva was able to take that touch, even though the touch by Wekiva was actually less than 10 yards from where it was kicked off. It was touched by Wekiva first, or touched by Horizon first.
Yeah, once.
And so now 3 onside kicks by Wekiva, 3 successful recoveries, and a 24-0 lead. And we're not even through the first quarter, Neil.
Yeah, and Horizon has touched the ball once compared to 4 for now for Wekiva. It'll be 1st and 10 from their, well, call it midfield. They're just inside that 50 yards. And certainly the Wekiva sideline is in mid-game form already as we approach the end of the first quarter. Receivers, 2 receivers each side, 1 back set. Davis with the snap count, drops back, lots of time over the middle, tipped by the DB and dropped by Gay.
Pass intended for Anthony Gay falls incomplete. Stopped by Blake Motley of the Hawks secondary. That brings up 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
Of course, Wekiva losing 2 in a row. They've won 2 or lost 2 in a row except for the first game. 2nd and 10. And another first down. Bennett sliding, motoring around. And it'll also be another first down.
Joshua Bennett on the carry for the Mustangs. He has first down yardage, but there is a late flag in the secondary.
Of course, Wekiva coming off a disappointing and painful loss last week to First Baptist Academy. Yes, First Baptist Academy, defending state champion Class 1S. Nonetheless, as I do every Monday, talk to Coach Schwartz, and he flat out said that he felt that Wekiva was the better team, being in the higher class, and they should have won.
I don't know if it's recoverable or if it's a lost cause. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Mustangs. That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. The first down should stand and reset the chains, but it will now be from the Mustangs' 47-yard line.
So that means the ball was moved from the 38, which means it was a 12-yard gain. Wekiva continues. We've talked about it all season, Mark, and it really hasn't hurt them, but penalties, penalties, penalties. And Wekiva, we'll get to that in just a minute. The penalties as Davis now steps up, finds Gay, turns it upfield, and he's taken down quickly, but a nice gain on first down actually.
Pass is complete to Anthony Gay.
And it'll also take him into Horizon territory.
That puts the ball at the 45-yard line, and that's good for a pickup of 8 yards into Hawks territory. 2nd and 2 coming up for Wekiva. So, yeah, I mean, did we ever find that power adapter for the extra? Okay, so, well, it had a good run. It made it for all of 10 minutes before we lost the part.
Davis plunging ahead. He'll have the first down. Nothing fancy there on the draw.
Tyree Davis on the QB draw takes it to the 40-yard line, and that's just enough for a Mustang first down.
So Wekiva averaging just under 14 penalties a game right now. They have the first down, but they did make the penalty a couple plays before. 13.8 to be exact, and average went up a little bit last week with 125 yards. About 117, 118 now. Snap back to Davis. And he finds his man. I believe that's Filius out of the backfield. And Filius catching the ball out of the backfield.
Tyree Filius on the reception. Stop made by Talon Indesorn. It's good for a pickup of 9 yards. It takes the ball to the 31-yard line and brings up 2nd and 1.
So once again, Horizon still with a chance to win the district because they have not played a game yet, but certainly they're going to have to change things quickly. Wekiva in control of this game since the kickoff. And that ball batted down. That was Brandon Cruz, the strong safety, coming up and knocking the ball down. Horizon 4-2 record, of course. They play one of the easier schedules, perhaps in the entire state, certainly in Central Florida. And only in their third year, I don't have a problem with that strategy. Build some confidence in the program. The first year they played an average schedule in terms of strength of schedule, and they were 2-8. Won 7 games each of the last year as the bomb, and that's Bennett just out of his reach.
Pass is just over Jeremy Bennett. There is a flag on the play coming from the secondary. So wherever there's a flag, find the white hat and zoom in on him. Standing at the 35. There you go. Holding is called against the Mustang offense. It's 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul and a replay of 3rd down. So again, Neil, if we have anything to criticize about Wekiva's play so far, it would be penalties, which is not the first time we've criticized that. In this case, and I don't blame them for this, Horizon could have declined the penalty. It would have been 4th and 1. By accepting the penalty, it's 3rd and 11. I think I would rather push Wekiva back the 10 yards than run the chance of Wekiva converting 4th and 1.
1:21 first quarter, 24-0 for Wekiva. Chance to get that first down as Filius grabs the ball out of the backfield. He lunges. He'll be close to the first down.
The screen to Filius is good for a pickup back to the 31-yard line, which is about where it was before the penalty. So that's a gain of 10 on the play. It brings up 4th and inches for the Mustangs. Unsurprisingly, Neil, looks like they're going for it here, but flag on the play.
We don't get the penalty off.
Dead ball, offsides called against the Hawks defense. That's a 5-yard donation to the Mustang cause, and it's enough for Wekiva. First down. So, Neil, that was exactly what Wekiva was hoping would happen.
Yeah, so Wekiva on the other side of a penalty, we've seen so many times this year that they're the ones that give up the first down. And Davis and Filius back to work along with the offensive line as they continue to move that ball methodically and systematically down the field.
Pass complete to Filius. And that's good for a pickup of 6 on the play. It takes the ball down to the 20-yard line and brings up 2nd and 4.
Filius with 3 receptions on this possession. Coming into this game, of course, we've talked all season about Davis, the senior quarterback. A 47% completion that did go up slightly from last week. 1,142 yards passing. Both those will improve through this first quarter as Wekiva with the 24-0 lead. Davis rolling left. We've seen this a number of times, and now he takes the ball, slides around that corner, and he'll pick up.
Tyree Davis
picks up 5 yards.
Doesn't see anything he likes. He keeps it for himself. And that'll pick up the 15-yard line.
And a first
That's
down.
Enough to move the chains. First down Mustangs from the Hawks 15. So, Neil, what I like about what I've seen from Wekiva tonight, besides the obvious, that they've put a lot of points on the board in not a lot of time, is that you see the variety of play selection. They go for the bombs way downfield. They've been able to do the screen passes, the outside routes, the QB keepers. This is something we haven't seen yet, as that's going to be Michael Blackman up the middle for the Mustangs, and that takes the ball almost to first down yardage. The spot will be at the 6-yard line for a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 coming up for Wekiva. But you see, Neil, that, Wekiva has just tried all manner of different plays, and that, it becomes very challenging for the Hawks to defend against that when you have such variety in your arsenal. And now we're going to get a penalty marker. Give me my white hat. And presumably this, obviously it's a dead ball foul, but the flag is waved off. No penalty on the play. And so that takes us to the end of the first quarter. 24-0 your score at the end of 12 minutes here on senior night as we head into week 8 of season 17 of Mustang football.
Welcome back to Baptist Orthodontic Stadium, home of the Wekiva Mustangs, who currently enjoy a 24-0 lead as we begin the second quarter. And they are looking to up that lead. 2nd and 1 at the Horizon 6. Davis steps back off his left foot. Completion. And Horizon does keep him out of the end zone, but 1st and goal. Wekiva again looking to make this a 4-touchdown lead early in the second quarter.
Pass is complete to Jabari Smith. Stop made by Semi-Island Kissimmee. It's short of the goal line, but enough for the first down.
At the 1-yard line, see if they try to go old-fashioned, just punch the ball straight up the middle. That's Phileas lining up behind Davis. It's a fake, the old Wildcat, and yes, a touchdown. Nothing fancy after the Wildcat.
Phileas straight up the middle for a Mustang touchdown. You actually saw Tyree Davis walking toward the sideline with his hands up like, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that was part of the deception or whether
that was part of the deception, Mark. I've seen him run that play, practice that play a number of times. But, again, I don't think it really would have mattered, as now they're going to go for a 2-point conversion. They've done it 3 for 3 so far. The pass, the completion, right at the 1, and Ellis takes a step into the end zone.
Michael Ellis has the 2-point conversion. The Mustangs go up 32-0 with 11 minutes 33 seconds remaining in the first half. And, Neil, this is a little early to be talking about this, but I would point out that the running clock does not kick into play until the second half, no matter what. So the score has nothing to do with getting into a running clock until we get to halftime. But once we get into the third quarter, if the differential is 35 or more, then we would potentially play the entire second half in a running clock. Wekiva now 1 score away from getting to that threshold.
Yeah, Wekiva 5 possessions, Horizon just 1. 3 onside kickoffs by Wekiva. Of course, the third one, which started this possession, or the possession that just ended, it wasn't really an onside kickoff. The most traditional. It was a short kick, which took a couple of rolls, and Horizon touched it, so it became an onside kickoff. See if they go for a fourth onside kickoff, but that last drive was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 plays on that last drive, consuming 50 yards. Again, if you just joined us, we're going to get another onside kickoff.
I think Wekiva's just going to keep trying this until it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, a 32-0 lead certainly inspires a team to take more risk.
And for the first time, it actually does not work. Number 24, Holden Kubitz, recovers the onside kick for Horizon, so they will take over on offense from their own 48-yard line.
So again, and it seems like it was a lifetime ago, Horizon's
on offense for the second time tonight.
Yeah,
now, keep in mind, Horizon has not had a positive yardage offensive play yet.
No, 3 consecutive TFLs, tackles for loss, 6 yards in total. Again, Wekiva getting the opening kickoff, and they power ahead, and that's what I was going to say. They run that wing T. Pretty much they model it after the Apopka Blue Darters, of course, our crosstown rivals. And they will enter Wekiva territory for the first time. Jean-Marie Piri is their featured running back. That's old school when you saw back in the 70s. Well, actually up until about 1980 as another short gain. Pretty much every NFL and college team had one featured running back. He'd run the ball at least 30 times a game. Jean-Marie coming in with a 7.3 yards per carry average, 1161 in total. He's taken about 70% of the snaps. Your quarterback is Harris. He's thrown only 40 attempts, 40 passes, completing 16. That's a 40% completion rate. And he drops back another pass. So again, that's now 41 passes on the season through
pass is
6
complete
games.
To Gavin Thomas. That's well short of the first down marker. That'll actually put the ball for no gain at the 49-yard line. So I'm actually not sure, Neil. I don't know whether he caught that ball and then went straight down or if they actually ruled it incomplete. I saw that it was bobbled, but I did not have a good angle on it. In any case, the outcome is the same. It brings up 4th and 8, and now we get a very, very, very late flag in the middle of nothing happening. So that's not something you ever like to see.
So far, Horizon able to run only 6 plays from scrimmage. So
flag on the play.
Once again, thank you for joining us on this Friday night.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Hawks. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, and a replay of 4th down.
So that'll push the ball all the way back to the Horizon 36.
Just when you thought Horizon was finally going to get positive offensive yardage, there it went.
So if you joined us late, thank you. We appreciate you joining us no matter when. We hope all of our viewers out there, all of you out there, are enjoying the broadcast as much as we have bringing it to you. As we get the high snap, that's Harris, the quarterback, and he just falls on the ball. So Wekiva will certainly have a chance to get that lead over 35, as it'll be 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. And, boy, it's been a disastrous 14 minutes for Wekiva, or for Horizon, and that continues. This might be the most disastrous, as now Wekiva will go to work, 1st and goal in the shadow of the Horizon end zone in field goal post.
A high snap will turn the ball over on downs to the Mustangs inside the Hawks red zone. The ball is spotted at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Mustangs.
So Wekiva also looking to go 5 for 5, not just scoring, but touchdowns. A must-win for Wekiva if they're going to get into the playoffs, as they come in 3 and 4, Horizon 4 and 2. And we got the stack lineup on the right with Gay and Bennett, 2 receivers up high, and they're stacked as well. Wekiva looking to go up by 5 touchdowns plus several two PATs. As a matter of fact, they've scored a 2 PAT after each touchdown. Handoff on the sweep, extending that play out, and a flag will come in. That's usually holding.
Pass is complete to Jeremy Benjamin. Flag on the play.
And
Holding is called against the Mustang offense. That's 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of first down. So that at least gives Horizon a little bit of space to work with for their goal line stand.
Ball back to the 16, and that is the one, I guess, say, complaint or poor aspect of the game tonight. Wekiva with, I believe, 6 penalties already.
Timeout, Hawks. So the Hawks take their first timeout of the half, and again, Wekiva with that holding penalty will have the ball pushed back to the, looks like, 16-yard line, so that would have occurred right at the line of scrimmage. And, yeah, I mean, Neil, the penalties continue to plague Wekiva. They are not going to be able to get away with that against Jones or Apopka, but tonight they have so far been able to work around that weak spot as, correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but every possession for Wekiva so far has resulted in 8 points.
Yes, 5 for 5, or 4 for 4. And, of course, they're on the shadow of the field goal post. Could very easily go 5 for 5. Wekiva with 6 penalties through the first 14 minutes. So Tyree Davis, the senior quarterback, will line the Mustangs up again. And they'll be looking at first and goal from the 16. As the Wekiva fans, very raucous and boisterous tonight. A lot to cheer about right in front of us on senior night. Davis, the swing pass out to Gay. He does a spin. He's going to pick up some more yardage, a lot of yardage. And he keeps on trucking into the end zone.
Number 6, Joshua Bennett. Into the end zone for Mustang. Touchdown.
So a holding penalty, no problem, as Wekiva is putting on a clinic on the passing game tonight. And again, we talked about it at the beginning of the contest. Wekiva, just mentioned this, that they need to win their last 3 games. They need to certainly win 2 of the last 3, finish with a 5-5 record, but certainly you cannot afford to miss the opportunity to defeat Horizon. Horizon comes in, and barring what would, I mean, I hate to say it, only two and a half minutes into the second quarter, but they would really have to change things around and quickly. They did have an opportunity to win the district as they had yet to play a game, and the 2-point conversion for a 5th consecutive time, that's good.
Tyree Filius into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. The Mustangs improved to 40-0 with 9 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the first half.
And so the band playing the Wekiva fight song, a much different feel and atmosphere at Baptist Orthodontic Stadium than last year. So Wekiva now, as you just heard Mark Barchi say, Mark Barchi, of course, my partner and public address announcer at Wekiva High School. I'm Neil Fisher, a 40-0 lead. And we are only 14 minutes, 23 seconds into tonight's game. If you are new to high school football, we do have a mercy rule. I should say Florida high school football. There is a mercy rule. It's 35 points or more. The clock continues to run. There is no stoppages other than timeouts in the quarters. In between quarters. But it does not take effect until the second half. Another onside kickoff. Seen that five times tonight, and yes, it is Wekiva's ball.
The Mustangs with another onside kick, and Wekiva recovers. That will start them inside Hawks territory at the 49-yard line. So again, as Neil mentioned, Horizon has only been on offense twice tonight and had negative yardage both times. On their second time on offense, they were at least able to get a few positive yardage plays to the end zone and score it. Jeremy Benjamin on the opening play of the drive. 49 yards for a Mustang touchdown. Flag on the play. Pass is complete to Jabari Smith for the two-point conversion. Mustangs extend their lead to 48-0 with 9 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the half. So I believe that was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the conclusion of the play. And so that is enforced on the kickoff. So instead of kicking off from the 40, Wekiva will kick off from the 25. Now, it would be particularly brazen for Wekiva to attempt an onside kick from here because a failed onside kick would give Horizon stupendous field position. And for the first time tonight, Wekiva puts the full strength of the boot under it. And it's muffed by the Hawks, who just cannot seem to catch a break tonight. So they will get the ball, but they will not be able to advance it. And that puts the ball at the 27-yard line. If you notice, the broadcast is quieter for the next few minutes. That is because Neil has stepped away to perform his other task for the Apopka Chief tonight, which is to take some photographs. So he is down on the field doing that now. We'll hear from him a little bit later. So this is the third offensive possession of the game for the Hawks. It starts at the 27-yard line. Horizon still has negative overall yardage. Wekiva taking off and running with it, but that's not going to count. Wekiva got their hands on the ball, but the play was whistled dead. Still, though, that will be a loss on the play. It takes the ball back to the 24-yard line for a loss of 3. Second and along 13 coming up for the Hawks. And the snap is dropped. Again, Wekiva gets their hands on it, but I believe the quarterback fell on it first. Loss of 5 on the bad snap. It pulls the ball back to the 19-yard line, brings up 3rd and 18. So again, Horizon has had the ball 3 times tonight. They did have a couple of positive yardage plays on the previous drive, but it was all negated by penalties. And this will be positive yardage, but still does not get back to the original line of scrimmage. Bo Kenny on the carry. That takes the ball to the 23-yard line for a pickup of 4 yards. That'll bring up 4th and 14 for Horizon. Horizon comes into the game 4-2. And again, they have a 0-0 district record at this point. This is their first district game of the season. They play Wekiva this week, Edgewater next week, Jones the week after that. So back-to-back in weeks 8, 9, and 10. So we get an offsides called against the Mustang defense. That's 5-yard penalty and a replay of 4th down. So that doesn't really change the math in a meaningful way for Horizon. They're still going to have to punt it away here. And that's going to go out of bounds just into Wekiva territory. So Wekiva will get pretty good field position to start their next drive. And now Wekiva has an opportunity to eclipse 50 points in the first half, which would be remarkable. The punt is marked out of bounds in Mustang territory at the 46-yard line. Wekiva will take over from there with 1st and 10. Anthony Gay with big yardage for the Mustangs. He is down to the 9-yard line for a pickup of 45 yards on the play. First and goal, Mustangs. Pass intended for Jeremy Benjamin is broken up by Bo Kenny. That'll bring up 2nd and goal for the Mustangs. Davis has time. It's going to be a toss-up, and it is picked off. The ball is intercepted in the end zone by Blake Motley, and so that's a touchback. The Hawks will take over with 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. So finally, the Mustangs get a little cocky. Davis throwing into coverage there, and Horizon able to tip the ball up into a toss-up situation. 50-50 play, and Blake Motley came down with it. So finally, the Hawks catch a break. This will be their 4th time in offense during the first half. They have negative total yards. I don't have the exact figures in front of me, but they have negative total yardage on offense for the first half. And we're going to pause here, and we've reached the midpoint of the first half, or the second quarter, I should say. And so we'll pause for an official timeout with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Gavin Thomas on the run. That's a pickup of 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Hawks from their own 22. Flag on the play prior to the snap. False start called against the Hawks offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and a replay of 2nd down. So the Hawks again take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Snap away, in trouble. Andrew Harris on the QB keep, and he is sacked by Zareek Roberts. That pulls the ball all the way back inside the 5-yard line to the 3. A loss of 14 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd and 27 for the Hawks. Just a continuing incredible turn of events for Wekiva. Snap into the end zone. Got to get rid of it here. Don't want the safety. Pass is complete to number 88, Caleb Nellens. Stop made by Jordan Jones. That puts the ball at the 7-yard line for a pickup of 4 on the completion, and it brings up 4th and 23. So now Horizon will be punting out of the end zone, which is a dangerous situation, especially when you've had multiple problems with high snaps tonight. You definitely need an accurate snap here.
Pull the camera out wide for this. Wide, wide, wide.
And now they catch a break as Jabari Smith muffs The reception, and Jose Massanet recovers for Horizon after the kickoff return is muffed by Wekiva, so Horizon will stay on offense and will have the ball at the Mustang 46-yard line. So unfortunately for the Hawks, kickoffs that get muffed and you stay on possession don't actually count for offensive yardage. That'll be special teams yardage. So they are still negative on offensive production for the night, but they'll take it any way they can get it. Bo Kenny on the carry, and that puts the ball at the 43-yard line. Brings up second and 7. Picking up a good block there. That's Jamari Pierre on the carry. Off of the direct snap. That puts the ball out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Flag on the play. Dead ball. Personal foul called against the Mustang defense. 15 yards from the end of the play. And a Hawks first down. So as Neil and I talked about earlier, if you're going to criticize anything about the Mustangs' performance tonight, it would be their penalties. Both live ball and dead ball. So what would have been essentially no gain or maybe 1 or 2 yards now becomes a first down from the 28. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line for a pickup of 7. Jamari Pierre on the play, wrapped up by Jaden Smith. No gain on the play. Illegal substitution is called against the Mustangs. First down, Hawks. Trent Allen on the carry. And now we've got a little disruption in play here. The Hawks request a timeout. Their second of the first half. Second and 12 coming up for the Hawks, coming out of the timeout. Jose Massanet up the middle. And the Hawks will spend their final timeout of the first half to stop the clock here with 18 seconds remaining. That got the ball back to the 20-yard line, so no gain on that run. It brings up 3rd and 12 for the Hawks when we come back from the timeout. Coming back from the timeout, 3rd and 12 for the Hawks from their own 20-yard line, trying to get some positive offensive yardage, but they stumble. Jose Massanet stumbles behind the line of scrimmage, and that will be a loss of 14 on the play. That takes the ball back to the 34-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th and 26. And time has expired on the first half. 48-0 your score going into intermission here on senior night, week 8 of season 17 here at Mustang Field. Thanks for joining us for Mustangs versus Hawks as we celebrate the class of 2024.
Good evening, students, families, and friends of Horizon High School, and welcome to halftime. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the Horizon High School Marching Band, the Sound of Horizon. The Sound of Horizon is under the direction of Band Director Charlene Cannon and Guard Director Cassidy Garcia, and is assisted by FSU intern Reagan O'Rourke. The principal of Horizon High School is Andrew Jackson. The Sound of Horizon will be directed on the field by student drum majors Julia Mazura, Eli Montgomery, and Abigail Young, who will be assisted by student field commander Bryce Frazier. This year, the Sound of Horizon is proud to share their 2023 production, Young, featuring your favorite growing up and coming of age hits, including Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, Cruel Summer by Bananarama, Don't You Worry Child by Swedish House Mafia, and We Are Young by Fun. Tonight, the Sound of Horizon will be performing Smells Like Teen Spirit, Cruel Summer, and Don't You Worry Child from Young.
Setting up in kind of three pods, that card on the left and right flank, and then band in the middle. So if you can't get wide enough to get everything in the shot, then you can slowly come back and forth.
Drum majors, is your band ready for class? The Sound of Horizon, school is in session.
Once again, our thanks to the Horizon Marching Band, the Marching Hawks, for their halftime performance tonight with their show Young. And now, please welcome to the field the pride of Wekiva, your Mustang Marching Band. Tonight's show features the music of Michael Jackson. And of course, the Mustang Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. John T. Penny, and the color guard under the direction of Mr. Michael McKee. Drum majors, is your band ready? So as we get back to live action here at Mustang Field, we will, of course, be in a running clock scenario for the entire second half. The rule is if the scoring differential is 35 points or more in the third and fourth quarters only, the clock will only stop for timeouts and other extended disruptions of play as determined by the officiating crew. And, of course, we passed that probably about 3 minutes or so into the second quarter. So I want to welcome back Neil Fisher to the broadcast. The band shows ran a little long at halftime, so we do not have the typical 3-minute break for warm-up in between the band performances and the start of the second half. But Wekiva, you'll recall, was supposed to be kicking. They were supposed to be on defense for the first half, and thanks to their onside kick, they actually were on offense first. So now they actually will receive the kickoff the old-fashioned way and start off the second half with a kickoff return for touchdown, as if things could not go any more Wekiva's way tonight. Number 5, Jeremy Benjamin, 65 yards, give or take, into the end zone for a kickoff return for touchdown. Well, Neil, I'm running out of things to say.
Adjectives, adverbs, verbs, nouns, pronouns. Yeah, 54-0. And, we've reached the point, of course, Mark, up here in the broadcast booth, our job is to describe the game. And to be honest, we do apologize to our Horizon listeners. We are not trying to offend you in any way, but certainly we do have to describe the plays. 54-0, 10:45. Of course, as Mark said, a running clock. Wekiva is going to go for the 2-point conversion again. They will be short. That's the first time tonight that Wekiva has failed. They've gone for the 2-point conversion after 7 touchdowns now.
Anthony Gay on the 2-point conversion attempt. It is short, so the score remains 54 with 10 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
So again, taking a quick look at the stats, I'm going to only give you one stat again because of score. Wekiva put up 288 yards in that first half compared to only 16 for Horizon. Horizon, matter of fact, lost yardage on 3 of their 5 possessions, and Wekiva actually had 6. So that stat actually looked like it was going to be far more skewed towards Wekiva when the game began during that first quarter. So if you joined us late, Wekiva has scored on every possession so far tonight. This is a must-win game for them. Of course, they come in 3-4, looking to break a 2-game losing streak. Horizon came in 4-2, the better record, but the weaker schedule. And again, I do commend Horizon and Coach Dennis Thomas. Even though things are not going their way tonight, obviously, this is going to be a game that they'd want to forget about. But it's not unusual, and I do always agree. I think it's a very good strategy to play that weaker schedule for the first 3 or 4 years as Wekiva once again tries that onside kickoff. Yeah, this time recovered. It just builds confidence. Let's face it, if you're an athlete, never mind the age, but especially when you throw in the fact that you're a teenager and you're already awkward and you're looking for acceptance, you don't want to be on a team that's winning 1 or 2 games every year. It builds the confidence again when you do play that weaker schedule. Now, to Horizon's credit, they have made the most of those, playing a schedule that's not nearly as strong as Wekiva last year, 7-3. They'll be 4-3 after tonight's game. And certainly, I don't think anybody expected Wekiva to have this lead, 54 points, early in the third quarter. So that's Pierre. He takes it smothered, and he goes down. And
Pierre on the carry. Grace Dennison on the tackle for the Mustangs. It's a loss of 5. Pulls the ball back into Hawks territory at the 46-yard line. 2nd and 15.
Also, in that first quarter, Horizon was only able to run 10 plays as well compared to 33 for Wekiva. So all the stats certainly in Wekiva's favor, all interrelated. And again, as this is Pierre, he rumbles down that left sideline, and that will certainly be the largest gain of the night for the Hawks, for Horizon.
Jamari Pierre with a big carry for the Hawks. Jabari Smith has the stop for the Mustangs. That puts the ball down to the 22-yard line for a Hawks first down.
A 31-yard gain. Again, no question, the largest gain of the night for the Hawks. 1st and 10 as we drop under 7 minutes, third quarter. Handoff again to Pierre. Pierre, the leading rusher for the Hawks, coming in with 1,161 yards, 7.3 yards average.
Jamari Pierre on the carry. Xavier Stevens on the stop. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
Also want to send a shout-out, a thank you to our broadcast and production students here at Wekiva High School. Of course, we would not be able, as Pierre takes the Wildcat snap and Bulls ahead. We would not be able to put on this broadcast the video aspects without them. We did have some technical difficulties with a couple of our cameras tonight, so if you are a regular viewer and you notice that we only have one view, that is why. Nonetheless, thank you for joining us on this Friday night.
Flag
And
on the play.
we hope that you are enjoying the broadcast as much as we do bringing
Dead
it
ball.
to you.
Offsides. Mustangs. That's 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of third down.
10 penalties now on Wekiva.
Official timeout. We've reached the midpoint of the third quarter, and so we'll pause for an official timeout.
So Wekiva now committing 10 penalties, 85 yards, and that's really the only complaint that you can come up with tonight. Of course, tonight it's not going to matter, obviously, but certainly we've seen it in previous games this season. Go back to Edgewater 2 weeks ago, even last week against First Baptist Academy. 13 penalties in that game. I'll have to look up what the Edgewater total was, but those penalties are going to hurt you. Wekiva cannot be committing double-digit penalties as they go into the last two games against Jones and Apopka, needing to win those games to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, Wekiva will be a substantive underdog in both of those games. I mean, certainly Wekiva is expected to compete, but if you just look at the Max Preps rankings, Wekiva faces an uphill battle against both Jones and Apopka, both of those perennial state powerhouses who are having great seasons. And so, yeah, Wekiva needs to win both of those games in order to have any chance of mathematically getting in as a wild card. And to your point, Neil, they're going to need near perfect play in order to do that. They're not going to be able to give up any kind of big plays on defense. They are not going to be able to commit any stupid penalties on either side of the ball. They're just going to have to maintain both physical and mental acuity for the full 48 minutes.
That's Pierre taking the handoff, and he pounds straight ahead, just lowers the shoulder.
Jamari Pierre once again on the carry. That is short of the goal line, but enough for the first down. First and goal coming up from the 9-yard line.
Actually, it was 6:32 just came in.
Correction,
So-
that was Bo Kenny on the previous run.
So a 12-yard gain, ball at the 10-yard line, as Mark just pointed out.
This is certainly the most success we've seen on offense all night for the Hawks, who had negative total offense for the first half.
And
There's
it's
Bo
gonna
again.
end, nope, not quite into the end zone. They will be close. I believe
Bo
that's
Kenny
a 2.
again on the carry. This time has the ball to about the 2-3 line, we'll say. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and goal.
So now Horizon looking to get on the scoreboard. Rough first half, to put it mildly. And that is Pierre who takes the snap. And nope, he's not going to get in. Again, lowers the shoulder.
Pierre on the carry, innocent with the stop from behind. A gain of 1 on the play. That takes the ball down to the 2-yard line. Third and goal coming up for the Hawks. So certainly, Neil, here, I mean, the outcome of the game at this point is essentially not in question, but from a psychological standpoint for the bus ride home, the Hawks really would love to get some points on the board. This time it's going to go to Kenny, and that's going to be Bo Kenny on the carry for no gain. Fourth and goal coming up for the Hawks. Obviously, they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to see a run. Again, 90% of the time the Hawks Horizon throws the ball as they line up for fourth and goal from the 1. They run that wing tee that Apopka made so famous and so successful at for about 2.5 decades. Till about 5 years ago. Direct snap. And they're going to go on the left side and no, the tackle right at the goal line.
Jamari Pierre on the carry. The stop is made by the Mustangs at the goal line, and that will turn the ball over on downs to Wekiva at the 1. So, Neil, just when the Hawks started to catch a break, the Mustang goal line stand comes up with the stop, and Wekiva takes over on downs.
So now Wekiva will have the ball, though, in the shadow of their own field goal post at the 1 yard line. And Davis continues at quarterback. Of course, talked about Davis all season, obviously being the quarterback, but he's had a very up and down season. To be honest, I would say more down about 60% of the time. And of course, that all started on the second game of the season against Ocoee, first possession. He got roughed up, injured his left knee, handoff, and no, there will not be a shutout tonight as the Hawks, Horizon, down Phileas in the end zone.
Tyree Phileas is tackled in the end zone by Joshua Walker, and that is a safety.
So that does cut the lead to 54-2, 1:21 remaining in the third quarter. And of course, Wekiva will be punting, or actually kicking the ball off to Horizon. So Horizon with an opportunity to come out of that that possession which ended inside the 1 yard line better than maybe it originally appeared.
Yeah, it counts for 2/3 of a field goal.
So Horizon will get possession of the ball in a second opportunity. So talking about Tyree Davis, of course, mentioned he was injured. He's been injured for most of the season. He's just now starting to get back to what we expected to see of him, even though he did play. He missed only 2 games, but there was 2 or 3 games in which he obviously was one-dimensional. He couldn't run the ball. No plays called specifically for him. And we've seen him run the ball probably 7 or 8 times intentionally tonight. You know, plays designed for him as Mayday takes the kickoff and gets slammed down to the ground. So Horizon will take over as we get to the end of the third quarter.
That takes us to the end of the third period. The Hawks will take over, or will retain possession, I should say.
So we move into the fourth quarter. Once again, Wekiva's been in control from the beginning, scoring on every possession, a 54-2 lead in a must-win situation.
For those of you here in the stadium, we want to remind you, if you have not already done so, make sure you let your ride know, if you are depending on a ride to get home from tonight's game, that we are headed into the fourth quarter. And also, please make sure you remind them that we are in a running clock scenario, which means that when we say 12 minutes, we mean 12 minutes, plus maybe about 2 minutes for the water break at the 6-minute mark. So we are less than 15 minutes away from wrapping up here at Mustang Field, and we would appreciate your help getting your ride here so that our administrators can close the facility and get home to their families promptly after the conclusion of tonight's game. We appreciate your cooperation.
And we begin the fourth quarter, a run up the middle. That was Kenny plowing ahead.
Bo Kenny on the first play of the fourth quarter. That's good for a pickup of 6 yards. Puts the ball at the 46-yard line.
And this time it will be Allen taking the ball, moving out of his wide receiver spot.
Trent Allen on the carry.
Set up third and short.
Literally just made the announcement about 40 seconds ago.
So we are in a running clock situation that is 35 points or more in the second half. If you joined us late, Wekiva scored on 7 possessions. They converted the 2-point after touchdown attempt on 6 of the 7 as Horizon picks up a first down. Once again, that was Kenny.
Bo Kenny on the play for a gain of 5 yards. That puts the ball into Mustang territory at the 49-yard line and brings up 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
So certainly that's got to give a good feeling to Horizon now as they're moving that ball up the field.
Yeah, certainly while the offense has not yet put any points up on the board as we get another run from Bo Kenny for 2 yards, bringing up 2nd and 8, they certainly have turned the tide on offensive production. They had negative total offense for the first half, obviously quite positive for this half.
Actually, they had 16 yards in total. I mean, not
counting penalties, I should say.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, again, when I give the total yards at halftime, I do include, I'm not including the actual yards gained from running or passing. I'm just including the yards from where the possession started and where it ended. For those of you who have never watched a replay, or if you forgot one of our broadcasts or have forgotten, please remember that we do not have statisticians. It's me and Mark sitting up here in the press box. And so while I am keeping stats, obviously I cannot be adding up the stats every time a play is run. So that's why I do total yards. When I say that, it means where they started and where they ended on each possession. As it run again from the kickoff, that was Pierre.
Jamari Pierre on the carry, and that's good for 5. That puts the ball at the 45-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th and 5, 6 yards for the Hawks. And Neil, I mean, I don't know what advice I would give the Hawks at this point. If I'm in the coaching position, I think I want to put points on the board, but it looks like they are going to kick the ball away here. At least that's what they're lined up to do.
Yeah, Harris lining up. Of course, Harris the quarterback.
Now, this is not an uncommon scenario that you'll have the quarterback who's also the kicker.
And they do indeed kick that ball. Punted, takes a Wekiva bounce. 8:06 remaining as Wekiva takes possession. So again, want to thank our broadcasting production students here at Wekiva. They're handling the video aspects, and of course without their helps, we would not have any video. So Wekiva will be 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line as we are now approaching 7 minutes remaining. Wekiva will up their record to 4-4 heading into the big showdown, the last 2 against Jones and Apopka. And that is a completion to, still waiting to see. The tackle was Miles Watson, the junior. The reception was by Bennett.
The catch is made by Joshua Bennett. Miles Watson on the stop. That puts the ball up to the 41-yard line. First and 10 Mustangs.
So the one-back set, Wekiva stays in.
Davis has time. And launches a missile right to the waiting arms. It takes 3 Hawks to down him, but the pass is complete to Jeremy Benjamin. That is into Hawks territory. The ball is spotted at the 37-yard line. 24 yards on the reception. Make it 22 yards. And now we round the 6-minute mark here, and so that takes us to the midpoint of the 4th quarter, so we'll pause for our final official timeout. Again, we remind those of you who are here in the stadium that when we say 6 minutes, we mean exactly 6 minutes. The clock is not stopping other than for timeouts. And so if you are depending on a ride to get home from tonight's game, please make sure you give them a call and let them know that they need to be on their way to pick you up so that our administrators can promptly close the facility after tonight's game. We appreciate your cooperation. And Neil, as we enter the last 6 minutes here, I know that you and I want to take at least a couple of minutes on the broadcast to remember John Peary, who hired you at the Apopka Chief 17 years ago when Wekiva High School opened. And while John, as we said in his memoriam at the top of the game, he was an Apopka alum. He was a lifelong or near lifelong Apopka fan ever since he moved to Florida during his childhood. He bleeds blue and white. But in spite of all of that, when a new high school opened here in Apopka, he wanted to make sure that Wekiva was going to get equal coverage and was going to get fully included in the Apopka community. And that's why the chief committed itself to making sure that Wekiva did not get forgotten as that other high school in Apopka, and was getting the column inches to recognize their athletes and their students and their achievement. And of course, since he is or was, for many years, obviously at the Apopka games, as he had been for a couple of decades before that, as we get the completion here, needed additional resources to do that, as the completion goes to Jabari Smith for a Mustang first down. And so that's how you came to be part of the Mustang family, Neil. And and so, JP, we've seen a lot of him. Obviously, he spent most of his time at Apopka games whenever there was something going on at both schools, because that was the point. He would be at the Apopka games, you would be at the Wekiva games. However, certainly, he was deeply invested in this community as well, and it came as quite a shock to all of us when we lost him earlier this week. At that point in your life, nobody goes to bed not expecting to wake up, and it's a gut punch to all of us, and certainly a difficult moment for the city of Apopka. He was also a deacon at his church and deeply involved in community activities. As we get the QB keep from Tyree Davis, puts the ball down to right about the 15-yard line.
So, Mark, to be honest, I don't think there's really much else I can add. I will say this, though. I'll always be grateful to JP, as we called him. They're not on that side of the field, but on the other side of the field they have his initials. Because, as you said, he was the one who hired me on. And I admit that there probably wasn't a tremendous amount of competition for the position, but nonetheless, we had never met. They didn't know me, and he believed in me after he saw the work I'd done at my two previous newspapers. For me personally, it was a big moment in my career in terms of providing me with the means. We need to make a living. I'd actually worked at two previous papers before I came to Wekiva, and unfortunately both of them had gone out of business. So I was pretty much at wit's end, as they say. As much as I love journalism, if you guys aren't familiar with me or you haven't heard the story, I caught the journalism bug when I was 6 years old, and here I am in my mid to late 30s, and suddenly I'm thinking, did I make a bad decision, and why am I being, is this a really bad joke on me?
Flag on the play, holding called against the Mustang offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and replay of first down now from the 21-yard line.
And so here we are 17 years later. I'm not going to say it's been perfect at the Chief. I have had moments of disagreement with JP. I've had moments where things did not work out the way I thought they should. But 17 years later, as I turned 54 back in May, I have been able to, again, count on having a job with the Chief, and that all started with JP again. Taking a risk on me. He had never met me. It wasn't one of those deals where we had networked. As we get another touchdown, that's Benjamin.
Pass is complete in the corner of the end zone to Joshua Bennett.
And that might just do it now with the running clock. One other thing I did want to point out, Mark, too, as, again, we are in the running clock, And the score is now 60-2 as Wekiva go for the PAT as they've done all night. JP and I, we didn't really have much of a personal relationship. I'll be honest about that. JP was not a man who had a lot of personal relationships when it came to those he worked with. He was very amiable. He was very easy to get along with. But he did not feel the need to want to know about the people he worked with. With that said, though, I have great respect for him as a mentor and someone that I learned tremendously from over the last 17 years. In addition, as I said, him giving me that opportunity when, I felt like I was driving a car that hit the wall. That's really what the highlight of my time working for JP is his mentorship and just learning so much from him, working under him.
Anthony Gay on the run, and the two-point conversion attempt is no good.
And so that will do it as Wekiva, in a must-win situation, takes a 60-2 victory over Horizon. Wekiva came out, ate their Wheaties today. They still have a lot to work to do, but tonight it didn't matter the mistakes. And they scored on their first, I believe, 8 out of 8 times tonight to go along with 4 two-point conversions.
Yeah, Wekiva did not punt the ball once tonight.
So Horizon, they'll up the record to 4-4. Of course, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, they most likely will have to beat both Jones and Apopka to get into the playoffs, but certainly they are now in that position with the victory tonight. Horizon, on the other hand, drops to 3-4, and they still have 2 more district games. So, Mark, take us to the finish line one last time for the 2023 football season.
That takes us to the end of the ball game. Congratulations once again to all of our senior members of the football program, cheerleading, athletic training, band, color guard, JROTC. We are deeply grateful for everything you contribute to the legacy of our Mustang athletic programs and wish you nothing but success in all of your future endeavors. Thanks also to our Hawks and Mustang fans who came out to support your teams tonight and all season long. This concludes the home portion of Season 17. We will see you in about a month as we gear up for basketball season and soccer season coming up here on campus at Wekiva, of course, along with our other individual winter sports. So we'll look forward to bringing those to you both in person and online as well. Until then, we will see you next week on the road. That will be the Mustangs travel to Jones next week. And they will be facing the Tigers. Then they have a bye week for Week 10, and they wrap up the season as per tradition in the Mayor's Cup at Apopka. That trades locations every year. And so this year it is scheduled to be at Apopka. We hope you'll join Wekiva on the road for that very short trip. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. We are at Wekiva Sports on all 4 of those services, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. Those of you here in the stadium, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you tuning in online, we hope you will subscribe before you go. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Good night, and have a great weekend.